Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. We are coming to you live from the LuchaWorld studios in the glorious Walnut Hills in California. This is Vandal Drummond, joined as always by Fredo Esparza. How's it going this afternoon, Fredo?
I don't have a fake name like you do, huh?
I know, we got to come up with a fake name for you. We have the Bixie Demon for Bix and Span. I guess Ryan and Dan don't have any fake names yet. We'll come up with something, but there's got to be a cool handle for you somewhere.
That it works. It's not anything to worry about.
Well, it has been ages since we sat down for a LuchaWorld podcast.
When was the last show we did? September?
I think November.
November?
I believe it was November.
Wow.
We should know this, shouldn't we?
I thought it was October or September.
Yeah, it has been quite a while. Way too long. Well, it's been, at least on my end, it's been a very busy few months.
I think we have like 3 months worth of wrestling to talk about.
We do. So, well, I guess of the news that happened some time ago, but really should not be ignored, is the passing of Masa Uno.
Yeah. It just came out of nowhere, too, so it's... because it was a car accident.
Yeah, I think because
it wasn't something that you were kind of waiting to happen. Like some guys have diabetes or something, and you're like, oh, he's probably going to die.
Yeah, and he wasn't living a fast lifestyle. Yeah. Sound like somebody who probably retired pretty contently. As I understand, his main focus was training wrestlers, and I think working with one of the local promotions. But yeah, I guess his car overturned, and I guess when they found him, he had already passed away. When we talked about it right after we heard the news, I thought you put it best when you said he was really the unsung hero of the Infernales trio.
Well, the thing was, like, when you first get into Lucha, you immediately notice Satánico and Pirata Morgan. The first two guys you notice for obvious reasons. And MS Uno was always like he's the other guy. It got worse once they brought in Masacre, than MS Uno. MS Uno was a little bit more vocal.
I mean, Pirata Morgan and Satanico are just sheer charisma.
Yeah.
And that's not saying MS Uno was not a great worker. He was a wonderful worker.
Oh, he was great.
But you're standing next to not only two guys who are not only great workers, but also just really charismatic.
And MS Uno had charisma. The problem was that those guys just had so much more that it was like, it's like
exactly.
You're just putting them in a room, like you're putting like the coolest guy with even cooler people in the room. It's like,
oh man, you're in a room. Yeah, you've got a trio of alpha cats. And,
Yeah.
Well, I had not watched this match until this morning. I watched the 1983 hair versus hair match that he had with Sangre Chicana.
That was great.
What an amazing match. The only thing I wish I could see is I would love to have seen the build-up weeks before that match, because there was so much heat in that audience.
Yeah.
These people were so hot for this match. And what I marveled at is how simple yet effective the whole match was. Essentially, the whole fall, most of the entire first fall took place outside of the ring because Masa Uno just trashes Sangre Chicana, bloodies him up, and there's this woman who I think I heard the announcers say was Sangre Chicana's mother, trying to help him up, trying to get his ring jacket off for him. Yeah, and that whole first fall is just him, just Masa Uno destroying Sangre Chicana, and he continues to destroy him into the second fall. Sangre Chicana comes back with just one right hook. Pow.
And he just knocks him out.
Yeah, and the audience popped like crazy for one punch. And then the rest of it was, I think, 2 more punches, a tope, and Sangre Chicana wins the second fall by countout. And it's not by, like, a countout where one of them beats the other to the ring. It's the tope knocks out Masa Uno, floors him, plasters him. And again, here's a match where a tope really meant something.
Yeah. And unlike nowadays where you see them like 3 or 4 times in a row.
Yeah, and both...
and it's not done that often, but every couple of matches you'll see that happen, and it doesn't really fit, for the match. Just just part of the
exactly
routine.
And it's like you said, it's sheer routine. And if it gets over and if people like it, that's cool. But it's funny how you're thinking of the storyline where somebody does a tope, hits the guy, and then both of them get back up in the ring like neither of them were hurt.
Here we go, sounding like Lance Storm.
There we are, yes. We were joking how on our Slam and Stand podcast last night, we were all talking about the good old days and how kids these days do it differently and how we're turning into Lance Storm.
Yeah.
Well.
The thing is, I think that match, what it shows is just how great those two guys were.
Yes.
And how they're very undervalued in pro wrestling history. I mean, basically, because Sangre Chicana, I know when I think Matt Farmer was looking through attendance records, he was really amazed at how much of a draw he was. Which, I mean, if you grew up watching Lucha, you would have known, because he was always drawing great crowds, and MS-1 was always one of the top heavyweights. So
yeah, and just how charismatic both these guys were.
Yeah.
I mean, in that match, again, and I know I'm probably sounding old here, but you can learn from old.
Yeah.
And the way that these guys sold to the crowd, I don't think there was one high spot in the whole match. It was just an all-out brawl. And one of the things that made it so effective is, even though Sangre Chicana won the last two falls, he never recovered from the beating he took in the first fall. He's staggering throughout the rest of the match. And it worked. It really, really worked. There was almost a Marge Simpson moment in the match where every now and then the camera would go to his Sangre Chicana's mother sitting in the audience. And one of the time when they go to her, you're expecting to see her looking concerned, but you see her taking a drag of a cigarette.
Yeah, she's really not. She knows it's a work.
Exactly.
He does this all the time.
Yeah, and just when I saw her smoking, I just kind of thought...
But you kind of expect that from Sangre Chicana's mom. I mean,
Yes.
Sangre Chicana, he doesn't look like the safest person in the world.
Exactly. This is true.
He's probably been through a lot of
He probably grew up
moments.
tough.
Yeah, he's one of those tough guys.
Yeah. But MS-1, that match showed what a great Rudo he was on his own. I mean, I'm glad he was in the Infernales. That was such a great trio, but he really could have stood out on his own. I believe.
Yeah. Well, they did give him the heavyweight title too, so they did think they did think highly of him. So it wasn't just and he lasted a long time, like mid-90s, wasn't it?
Oh yes. Yeah. When I rediscovered Lucha in the late 1980s. Yeah, he is a part of that whole package.
Yeah,
that was one of the...
He was still around.
Yeah.
You don't see that longevity from guys from that era, like, who were really working at that type of level,
It's
because there were some guys, Mil Mascaras can last 40 years because he's not really doing a lot.
Exactly. He just has to be Mil Mascaras. Yeah. That's his job.
But, those guys who were, like, working at an insane rate, you don't see a lot of those guys.
It's true.
You see them now broken down, Like, Sangre Chicana is, like, a lot older.
Yes.
He's not a Black Terrier or Negro Navarro in the ring now. So
yeah, I got an email from Scotty Astro a while back. Also want to thank Scotty Astro for the nice things he said about our podcast. You rock, Scotty. But he was saying he saw Hombre Bala recently at a gym and said the poor guy is having a hard time getting around.
Yeah, see? It's like for every guy for every Negro Navarro who's a really great worker at over 50, there's like 5 or 6 guys who you could see that are having a hard time just walking.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And I should be able to observe this, but I haven't looked closely. Are the guys like Negro Navarro and Black Terry?
They're awesome.
I mean, is part of it? Do you think that they rely so much on mat wrestling and are a lot more?
I think so. I think it's more of their training. And plus they're trainers too, so it's like, I think they know how to take care of their bodies too.
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, Hombre Bala looked pretty, I'm pretty sure he's fat now, or at least chubby.
Probably.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't move around, you can't exercise as much,
so.
and your metabolism slows the older you get, which really sucks, I can tell you.
Plus, I think a lot of the guys are heavy drinkers too, so
it'd be
interesting to know what Navarro and Terry do.
Well, I heard one of the most heartbreaking ones is Jerry Estrada. Apparently, apparently
Jerry Estrada was breaking down like by 95, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah. Oh, he.
Long before that.
Yeah, and I guess it's a combination. He did a lot of crazy bumps, and he lived a fast lifestyle too.
Yeah.
But I heard, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, he made an appearance at a wrestling show, and I think they did a little tribute to him, and apparently he fell apart crying. Just like you could tell he wasn't a happy camper. Which,
yeah.
but again,
pure oath. But I think something happened to him. I think it was some sort of operation, wasn't it?
It was an operation, and am I remembering right that he had a stroke?
I think so. Because that was the second thing off of that.
Yeah, but when you think of the guys like Negro Navarro, Black Terry, I mean, that's what I think of the way professional wrestlers should be trained, just in my own mind.
Negro Casas?
Exactly, exactly.
Blue Panther?
Do some moves that look like they're crazy, that look like they hurt. If you try not to get hurt, because you're going to get hurt anyway, no matter how safe you are. And it's just going to up the ante.
Sure, Lance Storm. Lance Storm Jr. Hijo del Storm.
Except I've never been on the road like he has.
And he was talking about how there's a certain way to catch and dive. Mm-hmm. But I mean, realistically, accidents happen.
They do.
I mean, there's been so many guys. You could talk about how it's risky to take a catch or be a catcher or do a dive. But I mean, how many times have you seen more guys get hurt from like a power slam? They hurt their back because they land incorrectly or something.
Yes.
I think more importantly, it's the training.
It is the training. Well, in fact, one of the things that I learned in training is why you want to catch the guy.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've seen repeatedly is somebody's doing topes or a body press, and they're about to land on the guy's arms, and the catcher starts falling before there's actually contact, which is dangerous both for the catcher and the diver. No, you actually want to catch him. You don't catch him and hold him so your back goes out. You catch him just long enough to break the momentum, then you fall.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I know this is I made that mistake when I was working out at Gills once when we're doing body presses, and I fell right before the guy caught me, and we just bonked heads. And, to be honest, it's lucky we just bonked heads. But that's when I realized, that's why you catch somebody.
Have you ever caught somebody heavier than you?
Yes, I have. Yeah. And it's not that bad if you're doing it correctly. Yeah. And, well, that was how I was taught. You catch them just long enough where you feel the pressure in your arms, and then you fall.
Because that was one of the things Lance was saying, that you never catch. You always let the smaller guy be the dive guy, and the other, the guy catching should be a little bit heavier.
Yeah.
But I kept thinking, well, Superboy made a living out of doing dives, and he's a pretty big guy.
I remember seeing Brasso de Plata do a tope onto Kiss, and it was a great tope, and Kiss sold it like he was murdered.
Yeah.
But he wasn't hurt.
Yeah.
General rule, you should probably have the lighter guy doing it, but if you hear a bit of silence, we're both staring at our equipment here since we are still novices in the podcasting and computer business here.
Kurt's staring at the... What does it say?
Restart later.
Okay. Kurt's staring at the audio recorder, and I'm staring at the computer, which...
You can just hear the 2001 Space Odyssey music playing as us Neanderthals are like beating on our equipment with mastodon bones.
The thing is, this netbook, it always updates the software all the time, so it's like pain in the ass to figure out when it's going to stop.
Now, I am very angry because the character Metro is no more in CMLL.
So is Blue Demon. Blue Demon Jr. He's probably more upset. They showed a close... there's a picture of the mask even up close.
Yes.
Even closer. And it's exactly Blue Demon's.
Metro...
It's ridiculous.
Oh, for those of you folks who don't know, Metro, who is my favorite product placement in wrestling, he's a character who essentially advertises a newspaper called Metro.
Yeah.
I love it. Just like Gato Eveready, I love product placement in wrestling. And this guy was so cool. And now they decide to get rid of the Metro gimmick, and they are repackaging him as Diamante Azul, Blue Diamond.
Yeah.
And it looks almost identical, like Fredo said, to a Blue Demon mask.
Yeah. Blue Demon Jr., they've already made fun of it. He's already made fun of it.
Oh, has he really?
Yeah, he already... Rob Bihari sent them a tweet. Told him, maybe you should change your look. What do you think of the new character? And Blue Demon's like, NWA Historic Demon Jr. or something. He wrote something really hilarious on Twitter. Apparently he does have a sense of humor, so...
That's cool.
That's kind of...
Props to him.
Yeah, he's not a Santo type.
He's not bitter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure he's going to try to sue them at some point.
Totally.
Yeah. Because the mask is so obviously Blue Demon.
Well, I'll give it to Hijo del Santo. He didn't try to sue Johnny Legend when Johnny had one of the porn actors on Sex Mex or Nympho Libre. That's how they retitled it. First it was Sex Mex, then Nympho Libre. One of the porn actors wore a Santo mask that Santo had given Johnny. And Santo just gave Johnny a very heavy chewing out.
Oh, he did?
Oh, yeah, he was not happy. They're friends again and everything, but he was not pleased.
Johnny should have said, you could have it back.
There's a bit of an odor on it. I don't know quite what it is.
Something would be like, no, that's all right. I forgive you. Just don't do it again. Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, the other problem going on with the Diamante Azul is they have a wrestler already in the promotion named Diamante.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, that pretty much screws that guy over too. So.
I know, and it seems like they're trying to, I mean, I actually love this new tradition they have of having almost ancient traditional masked wrestler characters like La Sombra, La Mascara. I dig that, but don't do too many of them. It seems like that's what they're trying to do here.
The thing is that they don't really keep track of their own gimmicks. Because, I mean, how hard is it to see, okay, we have a Diamante. Maybe we should rename that guy before we name this guy. Because, I mean, Diamante, they could have had him drop his mask months ago.
Easily.
Because he was already in the outs. Like, he was in the outs when he did the WWE tryout years ago, so...
Now, Prince Devitt coming to CMLL for the entire month of March.
Yeah, it's going to be huge.
Now, I know
finally somebody worth watching from New Japan going to CMLL.
Aside from John Strongman.
Well, the thing is, like, I don't want to knock all those guys because Naito has been way better in New Japan. But I mean, like, they send them when they're green, so you get them at their worst,
It's true.
Yoshihashi's was horrible, his run. Okamura. They have a new guy also, Namajagi or something like that.
Namajagi?
Namahwagi or something. I haven't heard the name.
I'm going to have to start watching frequently now.
Yeah. It's a really cool look. It's like a kabuki-looking gimmick.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
oh, that might be kind of fun, actually.
Yeah.
Now, Prince Devitt, again, here's the Vandal Drum and punchline is, I've only seen Prince Devitt once.
Against Strongman.
Against Strongman, yeah. I mean, what else do you need?
Yeah. And that was actually a good match, so he's a good worker.
Oh, yes. Yeah, no, he is good.
He's
is
really
very
good. I've seen a lot of him. What they'll end up doing is they'll probably end up putting him with Mascara Dorada and Sombra, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah, that would work.
Get rid of La Mascara. I'm so tired of La Mascara. They had him drop to the belt to Volador Jr., which is great.
Yes.
Yeah, this past week, they had 3 title changes in Lucha Libre.
Now, you told me Negro Casas won
he beat La Sombra. Don't ask me which belt he won. So. There's so many. Volador Jr. beat La Mascara, and Hector Garza won a belt for Perros del Mal show.
Very cool.
So, there's 3 new champions. Something to look forward to.
Now, Negro Casas versus La Sombra. Is that one? Do we know? Is that gonna
It's
air?
in Puebla.
Oh, damn!
It might.
Love to see that.
It might air. It might air. The question is, will those people record it? Because they changed the schedule so much that it's kind of hard to record Lucha Libre now. So.
And speaking of Negro Casas, this is kind of a cool time for us traditional hardcore fans.
We didn't even talk about Prince Devitt and how great he's going to be in CMLL.
Well, we know he's going to be
We just skipped through it. He's going.
Yeah, he's going there. We'll talk more about it once he's there and once he's actually shown how awesome he is.
We'll talk about it on the next LuchaWorld Podcast in 2013.
That's right. After his career is wrapped up. No, Negro Casas and Blue Panther are going full force into their feud that looks like is gonna...
it headlines the next big show.
Yes, hair versus hair.
Yeah. Should be a really good match.
Now, I watched the lightning match between the two of them. I bow to Blue Panther gonna burn some incense in front of a mask of his, leave some flowers. This guy is awesome. He did 2 homages to Cavernario Galindo in the match.
Yeah.
One, when he had Negro Casas in the toe hold, he started chewing on his boots like Cavernario Galindo used to do to his opponent. I love that.
Yeah.
And then he did the Cavernaria.
Let's see Kurt Angle do that.
Yes. The cool thing is, I bet you Kurt Angle would do it if you asked
He probably
him.
would if he saw it.
If you explained to him the whole saga.
You know what's going to
Cavernario
happen?
Galindo.
You know what's going to happen since we don't watch TNA? Somebody's going to be screaming at listening to the podcast saying, "He already does it. He already does it." Like, we don't know.
I saw it on the house show.
Yeah.
Does anybody have Kurt Angle's Twitter account? We should Twitter him and just explain to him who Cavernario Galindo was.
I think he likes lucha, so.
Oh, that's cool.
Kurt Angle, like Daniel Bryan's favorite wrestler is Blue Panther.
Did you
know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah,
that is so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I like I like Daniel Bryan the more with
he should
every
pattern his
passing week.
hairstyle to Blue Panther's.
That would be great. That would be so cool.
That would be so sad for Daniel Bryan.
Now, Negro Casas has lost his hair a jillion times.
Yeah. It's got to be Blue Panther.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what Blue Panther looks like bald. Would he look just as brainy as he does? Because he looks like your math or engineering teacher at high school.
Yeah.
And if he shaved his head, would he still look that brainy, or would he kind of have a suave look to him?
You know what I think Blue Panther should do if he loses his hair? Mm-hmm. He should come back as a heel, wearing a wig.
That would be
Buddy
great.
Roberts. Because he's not going to look good without hair. I don't think
the wig and a headgear like Buddy Roberts did.
Because I don't think he's going to look that good without hair.
That would be sweet.
He already looks bad right now. Like, he looks old all of a sudden. Talk about a guy aging without a mask. That should be a great match. I think that show might actually be even better than the last couple of shows they've done. So
I think so. I think, I don't like to hold out hope in September for what they do with their anniversary shows, because they always seem to mess those up. But
this show seems to always be the better one.
Yeah, and I have high hopes for this one. Excuse me. I'm hoping this show draws well. Who knows how it's going to draw?
Plus, you're going to have, I think, the women's match. There's a feud going on between Amapola and Estrellita. Mm-hmm. And they have Ultimo Guerrero and Atlantis. Which, I mean, it's a great feud. We were talking about this. It's a fun feud, but I mean, they've wrestled so many times. It's like within a short period of time where it's like they don't really do.
Unless they gear it towards Mascara Contra Mascara, why keep doing it?
Ultimo Guerrero is very. A lot of his stuff is very similar. Like it's very repetitive. So
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
It kind of wears out. It wears out after a while.
Well, and when you're wrestling the same guy, no matter how cool he is, it's like those are two who should have the mask versus mask. That would be a money feud.
See, I think they're gonna have a tag team title feud next.
Wow, nah.
Well, because they have Dragon Rojo and the other guys. Should be good.
Yeah, Dragon Rojo, who I'm a fan of.
Except for his match with Liger.
Bad?
Oh, it was awful.
Oh, well,
it's really boring.
How sad.
Yeah. He's just not a singles wrestler. Like I was telling you about, like certain guys aren't singles wrestlers. He's not a singles wrestler.
He's
a trios or a tag team wrestler.
Wow. Yeah, one trick pony.
He's not. Well, I mean, there's a lot of guys. You look at WWE. I mean, they have so many guys who can't work a singles match, and they're having them work singles matches.
That is strange.
Because you get bored with it, watching them wrestle.
And you mentioned the ladies, and we were talking about this the other night. How I've seen several CMLL women's matches lately, and I marvel that even the worst women wrestlers in Mexico are better than the best divas here.
Who's the worst women's wrestler? Do you have it?
Now, I'm embarrassed to say, because I've only seen them a few times, the two skinny blonde divas.
Really?
And I'm not saying they're bad.
One that's even worse.
I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying that they're not as good as the other women.
The worst female wrestler in Mexico's got to be Luna Magica.
I don't think I've seen her.
She's this like short, stocky girl.
Mm-hmm.
She just looks really like bad.
Yeah.
She's dating one of the bookers, so she was married. She's married to somebody. I think she's married to one.
But is it Princesa Blanca who you said is Felinos?
Yeah. She's not a skinny.
She's not. No. I wasn't referring to her, but I really like her. I think she has a great presence. No.
Dallas is the one you're talking about.
Yeah, but they all know the basics. They all know how to work. They don't look lost. They don't look like, what are we doing in this ring?
Yeah, because I think the match you were talking about, the two worst ones were Dallas and Estrellita.
Those are the two.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're not, and even then, they're not as bad as like.
No, they're not terrible.
Because that match wasn't that bad for having them in it.
I watched the whole thing, and I enjoyed the whole thing too.
Who was the third tag team partner? Marcelo or Dark Angel?
No, it was
Marcelo, right?
Marcelo. Wasn't Lady Apache on there?
Oh, Lady Apache, yeah.
And Lady Apache looks great.
Yeah, and she just had a kid too.
Damn.
Yeah.
That woman has amazing genetics.
Here we go, the creepy side of the show.
The creepy side of the show. We're wondering, like,
who has great thighs and stuff.
Oh God. She's had all those kids, and she still looks dynamite, and she's a Class A worker.
Yeah.
God, she's a great worker.
Yeah. And it helps that the heel side is pretty good too. I mean, Amapola, Princesa Blanca, Princesa Utsuhei, who's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I actually dig their new outfits too. Like they have
the tight spandex.
Yeah.
That's
it makes
awesome.
them look better.
No, they're very cool.
Yeah.
No, because it's funny. I can't remember the time I last watched the women's wrestling in CMLL, but I remember thinking, not bad. Could take it or leave it.
They've been getting
better.
But
the last few times I'm saying I would like to see more.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
They're not as bad as they were. Like I think that they have that Japanese deal with Reina, the Reina promotion. So they're bringing the Japanese women, and then the Mexicans are going to Japan. Mm-hmm. So there's a little more of a. I think they're getting to know each other a little better.
And there's probably a little more motivation there with the deal.
Just don't send La Nazi again to Japan. She hated it.
No way, really?
She hated it.
What was her beef with the Japan?
Everything.
Oh, Lord.
She hated everything about it. The style, everything, like the food. She just didn't want to go to Japan.
Oh, man.
And they made her go, so.
Damn.
She just hated it.
If somebody told me, Vandal, we want to bring you to Japan.
Yeah. I mean, some people just don't like. Well, I
mean,
you don't know what her situation is too. I mean, she might have family and stuff.
That's true.
You don't really.
That's true.
And some people just don't like to travel. You know, like she might not be a world traveler type.
Well, I remember there were several wrestlers, like I guess Super Muñeco. That was one of his biggest dislikes. He hated all the traveling he had to do in wrestling.
Yeah. You would have thought. Well, I mean, Comandante. You would think she would have liked it. La Nazi or whatever her name is now. What is her name? Comandante, right? No,
I don't know.
The commander? I know they got rid of the Nazi thing because they didn't want to be...
I was going to say it's not a very correct age to have a Nazi gimmick.
They got rid of her name like that. So.
Yeah, I even thought it was strange when I was a little kid and looked at the Lucha Libre magazines and saw that there was a wrestler on top called El Nazi. I thought,
oh yeah,
that ain't right.
Ayumi's coming in also. We should probably mention that too. The Japanese.
Oh yeah, she's a cute little thing. Yeah. She is. She has such an adorable face.
If Dan Farron is listening to the show, he's just rolling around, realizing
that's right. He's
just hitting the table right now. Like, damn it!
He's freaked out because we're
talking about this.
The reason he gets freaked out is because he feels exposed. Because we're saying what he feels. He just won't say what he feels.
We're being honest.
Yes, we're perverts.
We know how we've gone to indie shows. We know how we know how all these wrestling fans think about women.
Speaking of indie shows, we should just briefly bring up that we recently reestablished contact with our local pal Superboy in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
And he now has a son who is entering the business, a third-generation wrestler here in Los Angeles, Hijo del Superboy, who appeared on the January 14th MPW Battle Royal show.
Yeah, tagging with his uncle.
Principe Indu, who had his first match on that show, first match in over 15 years, and amazing that he's been off for 15 years because he didn't look like somebody who's had that long of a break.
Yeah.
So, Superboy recently had a hip replacement. For the moment needs a cane to get around, but is going to be A-okay. Unfortunately, a hip replacement probably means we won't be seeing any more of that unique Superboy flying that...
You know what he told me, right? I told him, no more moonsaults, right? And he's like, No, maybe.
Oh,
maybe there's
no.
one.
Oh, God,
maybe
no.
there's one. There's one down the
Oh.
road. Yeah, he told me that.
Don't do it, Superboy. No, I know he can, but it's good.
Yeah.
Oh,
We laughed about it, but
yeah.
you never know. He's a wrestler at heart.
It was really fun about seeing that show was it was Hijo del Superboy teaming with his uncle Principe Indu, and they wrestled two local luchadores.
Yeah, Top Notch Segura and Wama,
Okay, yes.
who we saw at the Wrestle Reunion.
That's right. That's right. Both really nice guys, and it was fun because you see Superboy sitting there in the audience, with his cane, just observing his son, and every time his son did a little misstep or miscued something, you'd see him like wincing, like oh, and then when the match is over, they get back to the dressing room. Superboy walks in there with his cane and is kind of lecturing on his son what he did right, what he did wrong. And
did he hit him? Did he poke him with the cane?
Well, that was the funny part is seeing him with a cane. It looked like something you'd see like in an old black and white movie where the old wise sage with his cane is lecturing the young monk or something like that.
Come on, you gotta do better. he looked good for a rookie. He looked good.
Yeah, I think that was his first match.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it was his second. Yeah, because he had a trios match.
Oh, that's right. He had the
in
one
that little building.
In that little building of Supernatural's gym.
Yeah,
that's right. Yes.
Supernatural's gym. It's not his gym.
It's not his gym, but he's running the show
it's
there.
It's officially his gym now. That's how we.
It's an interesting place.
It's the place that they ran the PWE shows, the TV shows.
Yes, that's right.
So,
what's most interesting the building is you can watch wrestling and save your soul because there's a curtain that divides the room. On one side of that curtain is the wrestling ring and the seats for people to enjoy the show. On the other side is a little church where they have services on Sunday.
They have church there? I didn't
Yes,
know that. Yeah.
yes.
I saw the drum set. I didn't really notice the other stuff. There's a drum set, I guess, for the band or whatever.
Must be.
The church has a drum set.
That's right. All they have is the drums.
Yeah, so they're singing their gospel songs and they're playing the drums. Drum solo.
They have a donation cup saying, "Hey, maybe we can get a guitar or a keyboard thrown in here somewhere soon."
I just saw a drum kit. I'm like, man, there's a drum set over there. I mean, what's up with that? That would be great for a lucha show. You could have somebody playing the drums instead of like music. You just have to.
That actually happened at the Hollywood Heavyweight Wrestling Show in 1990. That
really?
Dan Farron, Eric Cade, and Johnny Legend promoted. There was a band that was playing surf music.
Was this featuring a 14-year-old Rey Mysterio Jr.?
Yes, it was. A young boy hired by Dan Farron to wrestle. We're going to give you a hard time about that, Dan. And then we're going to talk about Ice Ribbon afterwards. At this show, they had a band that would play surf music in between each show, which I was on cloud nine because surf music is my favorite music genre. The only thing is, whenever a match was taking place, whenever somebody would do a chair shot, the drummer would hit the cymbal, bing!
That would be great.
And it was actually kind of funny, but Dan finally went up to the guy and said, "See that giant Cuban guy over there? His name's Conan, and if he sees you do that when he does a share shot, he might have a few words with you." And the guy stopped.
You know what would have been great? Like if they had like promos, and like the promo just goes nowhere, and the guy just hits the boom boom. It's just like this weird, like Triple H cutting a long promo, and people are like bored. Boom boom.
And another little piece of trivia was the band L7 performed on that show.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, right when they were up and coming, and Johnny was telling us they're going to be big someday.
And they were pretty big for like not much of the 90s.
Yeah.
Are they still around? I think they probably are.
I don't know.
They're all dead. We shouldn't be so negative about bands.
I know. Well, CMLL, you were telling me, is possibly bringing back some former wrestlers.
Well, the Observer, this past week's Observer, was talking about how CMLL is a little bit more open to bringing back old stars from the past, and that they've been talking to like different guys, like they're open to bringing back La Parka, LA Park,
Yes.
Dr. Wagner Jr., all these other guys who have left. I don't know about Hijo del Santo, but apparently Hijo del Santo and them have been in, like... I mean, Santo's been trying to be friendlier with them, which, you know, I doubt is going to last that long. Since
Yeah, well, I know what I think we've all heard for several years is that the two that they absolutely do not want to bring back are Hijo del Santo and Conan.
Yeah.
Now, we all know the story about Conan.
See, the thing with Conan now is, like, he can't wrestle anymore, so it's really not...
Yeah.
It's really, what is he going to do there?
Right, no, that's
not
true.
Going to add anything.
That's
Unless you want to do, like, an invasion angle and he's the leader, but Conan's not going to leave AAA.
No, and he's got a good thing where he is. I don't see why he'd want to leave, but I'm just saying we know the story of why he and CMLL are on the outs.
And Blue Demon Jr. is now in that list with those.
Oh, is he really?
Well, I mean, he threatened to sue him. I mean,
wow.
I mean, think about it. They're making another character based off of Blue Demon. I mean,
so it is kind of in your face.
Yeah. So it's a back and forth.
Now, the Hijo del Santo, what was it about his departure that left
money? It was just money. Yeah. It was more of a money thing. Well, you know, the thing I think with Santo, it's that I think his wife handles a lot of his business affairs, and you've heard like Ricky Steamboat about the stories of Ricky Steamboat's wife, right? She's a hard business person.
Oh, yes.
I think that's what his wife is like too. So I think it kind of rubs the old boys
the wrong way.
When you have a strong woman telling them what to do.
Yeah.
So, and I guess Santo sided with her or whatever, and you know that kind of ended. It's more of a money thing. Yeah. And then it went from being a money issue to like him ripping on them, like from how the young guys don't know how to work. And then calling back Santo, like ripping him for being a jerk and stuff like that. So
he kind of gradually burned the bridge down. It wasn't one big blow.
To now where he has a TV show solely based on ripping on AAA and CMLL. You know, which I think they gotta. You know, I think they should actually settle with him or something, just because they both need each other. It would make it so much easier for...
Totally, and even though they feuded forever, it's been years since there's been a Santo versus Negro Casas match, and
you know what's even worse? Hijo Santo and AAA don't get along either, so now you basically have Santo's shows basically are him versus Angel Blanco Jr. Or Hijo Solitario.
Wow.
And those guys, I mean, Angel Blanco Jr. is an okay worker, but he's
Hijo de Solitario is horrible. Awful.
I mean, his match with him was just stalling the entire time.
Man.
It was Hijo Solitario stalling and Santo like doing a tope on him. Basically, it was like let me figure out the best ways to make this match enjoyable. So it was like 30 minutes of like Santos trying just all his moves, and Solitario, whenever it was his turn, was like punch him, then stall, like walk around, rip, point to the fan and stuff like that.
Hijo de Solitario is one who was just awful from day one. I mean, what little have I seen him over there, he sounds like somebody. He looks like somebody who's not even interested in.
Yeah, he just
in progressing. He just is content. Just
and now it's too late too. Now.
Oh yeah,
now that he's old. But I mean, living off his dad's name, so.
But that's interesting though that they're up for bringing back Dr. Wagner, L.A. Park.
You know, the other thing that came out on that was that Hijo del Santo, apparently he's got somebody with money backing him now.
Really?
Or who's willing to put money into his promotion. So now Santo's apparently trying to see if he could talk people into joining his promotion. So he's like, I think they mentioned Dr. Wagner, L.A. Park, Nicho, all the guys that he's more familiar with.
I think if I was any of those wrestlers, I would be thinking AAA or CMLL. I mean, you hear so many...
It's his Santos promotion.
Yeah, that's what I mean. As I hear so many stories of somebody who claims they have money backing them. It ends up dissipating really quickly.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, right now, there's a lot of indie promotions that are just there's people that are just spending a ton of money. There's a show, what's today, the 17th? Mm-hmm. This Sunday, there's going to be a doubleheader. It's from that promotion called X Project.
Okay.
Have you heard of them?
I have heard of them.
It's like... We thought it was a new promotion, but apparently it's an umbrella group that is going to feature like different little small groups that are joining up, or just a promoter coming up with different brands. And they're flying in on that one doubleheader. They're flying in Sami Callihan, Raven, Tommy Dreamer. I think Shima is Ion, the guy who just hurt somebody, accidentally hurt somebody.
Oh my gosh!
I think there's one or two other guys. There might be, I think, women. Lufisto, I think, is coming in, I think.
I picture the promotion folding.
And then they're booking big names in Mexico, like LA Park, La Parka, Super Crazy.
Wow.
I think Blue Demon's working on one of the shows. Oh, Davey Richards. They're flying in Davey Richards to work with Daga.
I mean, Davey Richards is a fantastic wrestler, but do you think the fans of Mexico are saying, "Oh, Davey Richards, we know all about him"?
Well, the thing is, they're running in. I think they're running Arena Lopez Mateos, which seems to be the new. that's the ECW arena
of Mexico.
Yeah, so they're basically just gonna get like at max maybe like 2,000 people probably.
Yeah.
I mean, Wrestle Reunion flew in guys, and they didn't make money off of those shows.
Yeah,
they were kind of complaining about that. I can't really imagine a promotion flying in that many guys in Mexico with the peso. Because, I mean, I didn't even realize that you have to pay them more. Because you're paying them with pesos. You're paying them more.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So it's like...
I don't... Well, it's an age-old story, but I still don't get it. I mean, it's funny. Whenever I just have this little dream in my head of promoting a show, I never even think of trying to find names. I try to do local guys and build my own group. But
you have to be a little bit a big mark for wrestling because, I mean, just flying them in, going to pick them up, where are they going to stay? Mm-hmm. Are you going to spend money on hotel? Or are they going to stay at your house? Can you imagine Raven, Tommy Dreamer, Sammy Callahan, Davey Richards?
Honey, I have guests.
They're all staying at your house. It's like, hey, look at them.
Can you serve us some tea, dear?
Yeah. The only thing is, like, Raven and Tommy Dreamer are a little bit more normal than they come across. Mm-hmm. So I don't think they're just that bad.
Right.
Yeah, so...
It's interesting. The whole money mark thing, I think, is as old as the wrestling business. My first encounter with it was when I was working out with Billy Anderson in his school, and there was a guy who wanted to promote local wrestling, and he wasn't so much a mark in that he wanted to fly in a bunch of big stars. But he spent a lot of money and promoted several good shows. First one drew really well. But he just kind of spent money with no plan, and I think the whole outfit folded within 4 or 5 months.
Well, see, the thing is, now you could have a plan. Mm-hmm. But the way wrestling is, it's so down now that even if you have a plan, you better make sure you're not like spending that much money.
Exactly.
Or finding these other, expenses, because you're not going to make any money, period.
Yeah, I think there's almost little excitement in the brainwave of somebody who's promoting wrestling for the first time, that to make money, you have to spend money, and they throw logic out the door. And I don't even mean that in a sarcastic, mean way, but their emotion overrides their logic, and they just start paying oodles of money on everything from ring to production to the wrestlers, and they seem shocked when, they take a bath financially. So...
It's going to be interesting. That it looks like a couple of good shows, like a good double header. Like I said,
as a fan, it would be a fun show to watch.
It just worries me because they're just, I don't know. You can't. Where do you go from there? Where do you fly in next?
Now, one area where I have to confess that I talk CMLL all the time, and I am way behind on viewing any AAA. What little I've seen are Jack Evans matches because I think he is totally awesome.
Yeah.
But what's your take on AAA these days?
These days, their big storyline is those guys who left CMLL, El Consejo feuding with AAA. I mean, the shows. I enjoy the shows. It's a little more. Before
we do the next podcast, I do have to catch up on that. I've been guilty of kind of just. I'm still looking for the X Project stuff.
Actually the show is really good. I mean, if you look at the 219 which one is this? The Valerie Office show has their main event is LA Park La Parka. This is the one thing that I think AAA screwed up. The LA Park La Parka thing. Tagging them up, they should have built it up. They really went through it too fast. While this show has La Parka, LA Park, and Super Parka versus Raven, Super Crazy, and Tommy Dreamer. That would be fun. The semi-main event is a 3-way dance between Messias, Blue Demon Jr., and a surprise luchador.
I'm curious.
Why do you have a surprise luchador on a show like this? The second match listed as Phoenix, Freelance, Sugi-san versus Dark Dragon, Samurai del Sol, who's another fly-in, and Zima Ion, which is another good match. And then the opener is Yuki Star Vanelli versus Big Mama and Felina, which is the women's match. Big Mama is this big, chubby woman who does like the Big Mama gimmick.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
How cute.
Hilarious.
Speaking of which, I just saw Goya Kong for the first time.
Oh, you did?
I kind of dig her. She's fun.
I can't find the other show for some reason. Oh, I think it's at the top, the Daga. The other group is Daga Dynamite Dojo. Their main event is Davey Richards versus Daga. That's going to be pretty good.
That'll be cool.
Have you seen Daga yet?
No, I have not.
That's the guy I tried to get booked on MPW.
Oh, okay.
Los Traumas versus Sammy Callahan and Samurai del Sol. That should be really good. Juventud Guerrera versus Zima Ion.
Well, whenever Juventud is in the house, anything can happen.
Then there's Lufisto versus La Vaquerita. And then Angelico versus Zumbi.
Now, I have yet to see Sammy Callahan.
I've seen little of him.
He's a name I'm hearing all the time.
Yeah,
these
he's
days.
in Dragon Gate, so I don't really watch Dragon Gate. Just because I'm not a big fan of Dave Sapolsky.
Neither am I, to be honest with you.
Well, it's nothing personal.
Well, no, it's his booking philosophy that I
Yeah.
never dug.
Yeah. It's more of that than anything else.
Yes. And I know a lot of people really like his booking, but I mean, more than anything, his philosophy of allowing any match, be it the opener, to be the show stealer. I mean, that, in my opinion, that's not how you promote a show.
Yeah, it's just the difference in booking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
We want... Oh, well, the big angle in AAA is El Consejo versus AAA. And if you look at the Consejo group, because I did you hear that the guy that they wanted was Averno, right?
Yes.
You heard about that?
I did hear about that.
We didn't talk about that. They couldn't get him, so they've been getting a lot of like the second level type of guys who just already left CMLL,
Yes.
like Cemental, Mortis, and they just brought in, just recently they added Argos. Argos is Mystico Sin Cara's brother.
Oh, yes, I've heard about that.
Him, he's the latest member of that group.
Wow. But it's a far cry from Averno, who...
would have made that group. You know, and I'm not hating on the group, because I actually dig Tejano Jr. as the lead guy, but it's a very weak... Because you have Tejano Jr. who's really good, then you have Toscano, who's the secondary guy, who, you know, you don't know what's going to happen with him, because he no-shows a lot. And then you have Mascareño 2000 Jr., who's actually pretty good. And the other guys are good, but they're not at
But
the
as a
level.
faction,
They're-
it's weak.
Yeah, it's a weak...
Yeah.
So I made a comparison to the NWO B-team. They could get Virgil to join the group.
The sub-wolf pack.
Yeah, they could get they could get Virgil, $25. So.
For $25, he'll shoot rubber bands at you. Oh, man.
Yeah, seriously, if you guys haven't heard the Slam and Stand podcast, I recommend listening to this
Yes,
one.
it was a really enjoyable
Slam
one.
and Stand number 69. It was really
We
good.
have some great wrestle reunion
Yeah,
stories.
yeah, and you could hear Bix tell us about his Virgil moment.
Encounter. It's a classic story. Wonderful stuff.
Yes. So that group, I think that group, they need the big name. So I don't know who they're going to get, because most of the big names now in CMLL are pretty much not going to leave, probably.
True. I mean, it sounds like they're...
I think Averno was the most obvious guy who would leave, because he's already done everything, and he was gonna leave to WWE, and now that he isn't,
he's in a really interesting place. He's in a place where who knows what's going on, but we've heard rumors about WWE for ages now.
He's in a place stuck wrestling La Mascara
That's
forever. That's his punishment. No, just kidding. You know, I was watching somebody. Oh, you know, have you ever seen those Botchmania videos?
No.
On YouTube? They put all of La Mascara's screw ups.
Oh no!
From last year's New Japan CMLL show, and it's just I didn't realize how bad it was until I saw it on there. He looked horrible.
Wow, and specifically in Japan.
Yeah, I think he was injured or something.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he just looked horrible.
Wow.
I think he's an okay worker, but I think they've reached the limit with him.
That's about as far as they can go,
Yeah,
pushing
I think
him.
they should start going like to somebody else. But I don't know who.
I don't know. I think pretty soon Guerrero Maya Jr. could be at a crossroads where they should push him up another level. I don't know about other people, but I really dig Stuka Jr.
Stuka
Always
Jr.
have.
See, Stuka Jr. is great, like as a third guy on a trio.
Yeah.
Like if And he's even better than La Máscara, too.
I agree. I think he is.
Yeah. What else is there?
What?
Valiente.
I love Valiente.
Dump La Máscara, put Valiente
Put Valiente in there. Poor Máscara. But it's no.
As long as Valiente doesn't fall on his head again, you know?
Oh, jeez.
He did it again, too, I think.
What? Oh, man.
Well, he'd probably... See, we should send video of Valiente to Lance Storm. Hey, what about this, Lance? We should just... I suggest everybody just send Botchmania videos to Lance Storm.
We'll have a new one called Catchmania.
Yeah, Catchmania. We'll just send it to Lance Storm, like, all the time.
Well, and along that, we'll get our Kojika Mania t-shirts.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
We were watching some Ice Ribbon, and Great Kojika, we thought he was wearing a Hulkamania t-shirt.
Yeah.
But it said Kojika Mania, and I want a Kojika Mania t-shirt.
Yeah, because I was telling Kurt about the little kid, the trio of the little boy, the little girl, and the old man. And apparently they thought it was really creepy. And I was telling everybody, it's not that I'm like... What is that? I'm not a proponent of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something that happened. I thought it was weird, so I brought it up. So I finally decided to show it to Kurt, and it really was weird.
It was weird,
Yeah.
but it didn't seem creepy. What it was Great Kojika was teaming with a little girl and a little boy. Nothing, like, perverted. They were just, like, little kids who were pro wrestlers.
Yeah.
The little boy, he looked like he could be the Destroyer's great-grandson.
Yeah.
He had an amateur wrestling singlet on and a red mask to match. And it was just like a pro wrestling match. The first thing I thought is it reminded me when I was 10 years old, first discovered wrestling, and when I would watch on Saturday nights, you know, in between each match during commercials, I'd run into my bedroom and start hurling myself all over my bed, taking bumps. And I thought, and the kids look like they're having fun.
You didn't kill anybody while doing it.
No, although I did split my lip wide open one night, and blood flowed all over my body, and I freaked out. I thought I was bleeding.
And you
to
thought you were
death.
going to get in trouble, right? So you went over and cleaned yourself up?
No,
they heard it?
No, my mom and dad heard the wailing when I discovered how much blood was all over me.
They took you to emergency?
I still have a little scar tissue in my lip right here ever since.
Wow.
No, they didn't take me to emergency. They just kind of like... said, okay, calm down, you're going to be fine. And it hurt to eat anything for like the next 2 weeks. But yeah, my tooth went right through my front.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. The first thing I thought when I calmed down and saw myself in the mirror, I was saying, oh my gosh, I look just like Raul Mata did when Ernie Ladd started jabbing him in the throat and he spit blood all over himself. And then I thought it was kind of cool. And unfortunately, there's no Kodak moment of that moment in my life.
Oh, jeez. But I mean, it's just, if you just look at it from a wrestling perspective, it's like
I didn't see it as
there's so much weird shit on wrestling.
Exactly, and I thought this was I've seen. Let's put it this way: I've heard so much mention of Ice Ribbon, and I was expecting to see something kind of disturbing, and it looked like these kids were just having a blast.
Yeah,
you know,
as long as the parents are okay with it.
Exactly. Who knows? Maybe it's Great Kojika's grandchildren.
I think when you attend so many lucha shows, it's like you can't really complain. Can't really complain about kids wrestling when you
That's why we were making the teasing comment to Dan Farron about hiring a 14-year-old Rey Mysterio Jr.
Well, I mean, because every time there's an intermission, the first thing you see in lucha, 20 kids running into the ring and doing every single move like they've seen on TV.
I remember in Tijuana there was like this 12-year-old kid every week would get into the ring and just do these flawless backflips off the turnbuckles and land on his feet.
You know who that kid turned out to be?
Johnny Ace.
Nicho Millonario.
There you go.
No, he was already old by that point, right? He was already wrestling.
Yeah, in fact, right around that time was when Nicho made his debut. I actually saw Nicho's very first match in Tijuana.
Wow, really?
Yeah, he was. That was when he was working
and then you emailed Dave Meltzer. Actually, there was no email back then. You wrote him a letter. You wrote him a letter saying, "I've seen the future, and his name is Caballero de la Muerte."
That's right. Yes, I did. I swear I did. No, I remember. He was in the opening match, and he was wrestling under the name that evening as El Salvaje.
Yeah, that's his name.
And
That's
in fact, he used the Caballero de los Muerte name in California because there was a local guy called El Salvaje already.
See, it happened back then. Why are we getting so upset about Diamante Azul, you know?
That's true. You got a point there.
Or Titan and Triton.
It's just I dug Metro so much.
Yeah,
That's the only reason I'm... But no, I remember right when the match started, they actually announced this is the very first match of this young kid, Salvaje.
Yeah.
And...
you know, why didn't they ever use Blondie for... was it Blondie that sang that song, Metro? Who sang that song, Metro?
Oh, you're thinking of no.
Berlin or something.
Berlin, riding on the Metro.
Yeah.
Riding on the Metro.
Yeah, why didn't they use that for
I don't
Metro?
know. Probably because they would have had to pay royalties.
That had to be in. Well, they look at what they used for their show. I mean, Panico. That must not be on Panico's playlist.
Panico's MP3.
Yeah, it only has Quiet Riot
and Conjunto Africa.
Who's that? Iron Maiden? No, it's not Iron Maiden. It's Quiet Riot. I think it is Quiet Riot.
Come on, feel the noise.
Yeah, he has all that stuff.
Come on, feel the noise. Yeah. That he feels young and hip with
Scorpions. Scorpions. He has Scorpions.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he has like every single person Scorpions. Guns N' Roses. He has Guns N' Roses. So that'd be so hilarious. Like he's sitting backstage with his iPod or his tape recorder. Like just, oh, this is a pretty good song.
I remember hearing about this great interview in Mid-South. I wish I actually heard it myself. Well, it was when Mr. Wrestling 2 was a heel for a brief time. And I guess he does this interview saying bagging on kids today, and all they do is smoke dope and listen to that terrible rock and roll music, which is just criminal. And Bill Watts says, "Now hold on a minute. My sons listen to rock and roll music. They're both straight A students. There's nothing wrong with them." And then he says something like, "And you know what? It even does my ear a little good sometimes."
You know what I found?
Which is funny. I heard, and apparently the funny part is Bill Watts apparently hates rock music.
You know, that's what I found funny about rewatching a lot of Mid-South is how political Bill Watts was on the show. Like he would talk about stuff about Russia and stuff like that. Yeah,
that's true. Yes,
he was very political. Like he would give his opinion on certain things. I was like,
it was the very reactionary things of the day.
Yeah.
And I remember, wasn't that the promotion where they would usually
do the Russian angle? Where
they do the Russian angle, and I think there was one where, I think it was Mid-South, but a Russian character shoves a woman, and they use the explanation. Well, we can't judge him because that's how they handle women in their culture. That's the way they do it in their culture.
We should have a caveman. We should have a caveman show up and just hit one of the girls in the head and drag
her by the hair.
And then we'll have Danny Wolf. Well, you see, that's how they were raised.
If you go back to their heritage of Cavernario Galindo, that's how they handle their women.
I wrote on Twitter because they all the name stuff, all these weird names, and I wrote, wouldn't it be great if CMLL brought back the Cavernicolas as the 2012 version?
That would be cool.
With the names. I got this off the NBA. This is how weird the NBA last names are. Biombo, Matumbo, Og.
Oh, that's perfect!
And their little mini mascot, Smrek.
I love it. I love it. Oh my god, that's great.
Yeah, so I was like... I just thought I should write that down so we can, if we ever have some cavemen call that.
That is a great... I love that idea.
Yeah.
We're copywriting it, trademarking it right here on LuchaWorld.
The great thing is Matumbo, just that guy, that one guy, you could get with 6 names off of him.
Well, hey, and since we're coming up with characters here, I have a character that I want to debut. He's going to be a British crime-fighting time traveler who has trouble with prepositions. His name's going to be Dr. What. He can manage the new Cavernicolas.
Yeah.
In fact, it just dawned on me. The Cavernicolas, it was Popitecus.
Yeah.
Hawk El Cavernario, wasn't it? Was
I can't remember the names.
If I'm remembering,
they have these really weird names.
Yeah, I didn't watch them too closely because I was really bummed to see Popitecus become a caveman because I thought he was just so cool as Popitecus.
Here, we could look at the Lucha.
But if he teamed with Hawk El Cavernario, passed away too. I mean, if that was the trio, then 2 out of 3 of them are gone.
I'll look further now. Keep.
Okay, I'll keep talking.
Discussing
why. Yeah, so Dr. What is going to manage the new Cavernicolas.
Yeah.
And, well...
And so people think I'm not racist, Og is actually a white guy. Alan Og.
Alan Og, I like that.
That was his name. That was the guy's name.
And, of course, they're going to feud with David Bixenspan's Kayfabe Cops.
See, I think we could come up with so many gimmicks.
There's so many gimmicks out there. I
can imagine us showing up at those Halloween stores. People would be like,
"That's where
what are you guys doing?"
You know what? That's where I got my costume when I played Caveman Wellington on the MPW show.
I'm telling you. Yeah, it's Popithecus, Troglodyta, and Krogmak. Maybe that's where Chris Jericho got the troglodytes thing. I can't even pronounce it.
Very well could be.
Troglodyta.
Because I remember there was one...
Cro-Magnon.
Okay, because I remember there was one, Hawkel Carbonario, who was killed in a mugging when I think he was leaving Arena Mexico one night, if I remember right.
Okay. That's those three guys.
But yeah, no, it's a cool gimmick, but I love Popithecus just as Popithecus. He stood out in his own. He is one guy who should not be part of a trio.
I think Jose must have written that about why they didn't succeed. Jose's not a big fan of gimmicks. Just kidding. No, he actually likes gimmicks. I know he likes gimmicks.
Oh, and you know...
I know, because he's a big Super Muñeco fan, too, so...
Totally.
I mean, Super
As
Raton.
I am.
He's a big Super Raton fan, so...
Yeah, Super Muñeco, Super Raton, Super Pinocho. Some of my faves.
We should bring them back, too. That's who we should
love
fly
to.
in.
I would love to.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We could actually remake them. I mean, what's the odds of them suing us?
That's true. We'll just do Americanized versions of their names.
Well, we can't do Mighty Mouse. So.
Super Rodent.
Super Rodent.
I like that. And Super Puppet Man. Super Happy Puppet Man.
Yeah,
and Super Pinocchio, what can we do? Super Lying Boy. Super Liar Boy. That's
we
what
could come up with Japanese names.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much potential there.
Yeah.
Well, do you think this is a good place to wrap it up?
Yeah, I think we've talked enough.
And we enjoyed talking, and, well, let's make a pact. We're not going to let months pass before doing another LuchaWorld podcast. These are a blast, and...
I hope this whole thing got recorded, you know.
I hope it did, too. We'll find out very soon, and if it hasn't, we won't even know we're saying what we're saying right now. But there's a lot of fun lucha we have to look forward to, and a lot of potential... real-life angles between all the promotions. If CMLL brings back some of their old guns.
Well, you know, the thing is now they're all like... There's more of an open door now, so...
Yes,
we might actually be seeing a lot of guys going back and forth at some point, or working shows together.
It will be interesting.
Except with Hijo del Santo.
He'll be the one left out in the cold, poor guy. But no, it'll be interesting also because there's been scores of rumors in the past year about CMLL falling apart financially, and I don't know if any of those rumors there's any foundation to them or if it's just pure speculation, but it sounds like they're willing to slap down some money if they want to get people like Wagner back.
Let's buy CMLL.
I'll see how much change I have
think
at home.
about it. New Japan just was sold. Smash.
For peanuts.
Yeah. 6.5 million, I think.
Yes. Very reminiscent of WCW being sold for peanuts.
We could have bought, like, if we had like 10, 15 million, we could have bought like WCW and New Japan.
Where can I find... okay, we're going on Kickstart.com as soon as we're done here. We're going to raise that.
Money to buy promotions.
Yeah, we'll buy... what will we buy? Which promotion should we buy?
We should buy like CMLL first.
There you
go.
Then
we'll buy IWRG.
That's right.
We need a U.S. promotion that has a building.
Shall we buy Millennium Pro Wrestling?
Yeah, we should buy... They have a building, Millennium
Pro Wrestling. They have a building, and that way, you know...
We can continue it.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll fly in like... The craziest wrestling. We'll fly in like Virgil. For Ryan, we'll fly in Virgil.
That's right. We'll pay him $25 for a photo and send him home.
We'll buy DDT in Japan.
That's right. Oh, DDT, yes. We must buy DDT.
Yeah, we'll buy DDT and All Japan.
All Japan, totally.
Because we want their footage.
Hey,
we'll make a ton of money off.
Look at what we have planned, ladies and gentlemen. That would actually be the real reason I'd want to buy CMLL, is to just get all that footage. Actually, I guess we'd have to buy Univision first.
Yeah, Televisa.
Televisa, yes.
Televisa.
Television Visa.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start a whole network too.
Yeah.
Well,
we should start a network.
There you go. Yeah. As you could tell, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting punchy. We are becoming extremely delusional and loving every minute of it. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Lucha World, and we will see you in the very near future. Rockin'.